Joshua was going to connect with a bomb.
Yeah.
And breaks his jaw in 2 places.
Yeah. And
his jaw's wired shut now. He lost teeth.
He's probably cooked. He should retire, man. That was a clear
retire?
Check. Hell yeah. That was a clear reality check, bro.
Yeah, but it's a reality check to stay in your own division or...
He was literally running. Look at some of those rounds. He was running. He was going north to south, not side to side. He was running.
Joe Rogan strongly warns Jake Paul to quit boxing after his brutal knockout loss against Anthony Joshua. He says that staying on this path is extremely risky. Rogan explains that injury from fights like this does not end when the match is over, but stays for life, hurting mental health, memory, and mood. He warns that repeated hits lead to long-term depression and brain problems. No amount of money or fame is worth losing your future health.
Your brain imbalance that's going to lead you to addiction. It leads so many people to impulsive behavior. So many people become gambling addicts, drug addicts, alcoholics after their fighting career.
Yeah.
It's you could only take so much. And at a certain, like that one that he got from Joshua, say if you have like a punch card, you have like so many punches that you can get in your life, which I believe you do. I believe there's a certain number. That one was like 10 punches.
Yeah.
That was like, it was a lot of concussions in that one punch.
Sure.
That was real damage. Like if someone's breaking your jaw in 2 places, the inside of your fucking head is...
Psychologist Derek Van Schaik warns that Jake Paul faced deadly peril in his fight against Anthony Joshua. The count and force of strikes Joshua landed, including a brutal right-hand blow that shattered Jake's lower jaw in 2 spots, could have been fatal. During the final seconds, Jake's body language showed pure terror and fatigue as he felt the gravity of his crisis. Cornered and helpless, he begged silently with Joshua. His face showed the shock of facing power he had never felt before. Van Schaik notes that this level of beating is not just physically ruinous, but can have long-term mental and brain effects. The fight proved that Jake was totally outclassed, and further matches against elite stars could ruin his life and safety. Experts truly stress that after facing such trauma, quitting is the most mature and vital choice for his health. He must walk away now to save himself from a very dark future.
The number of punches he threw, and also aim a little lower to land that clean right-hand punch on the side of Jake's face, which fractured his lower jaw, still hospitalizing Jake Paul, but not actually killing him.
If Anthony Joshua won, Anthony killed this guy. Rolls-Royce, Fiat.
The variety of emotions we see in the final moments of the fight are fascinating. AJ finally corners Jake, hits him with a quick left-hand jab to the body, which lowers his guard, opening up a clean right-hand shot to the head. You can see AJ smile there when he sees Jake had fallen into his trap and knows that he's about to finish him off.
And then you just keep exploiting that. Some people give up. Some people get knocked out.
Jake's body language and facial expressions when he knows it's all over for him is a little sad as he whimpers in the corner with that scared, nauseous look on his face, realizing this may be his final moment on Earth.
If I get hit with that shot, I'm screwed. I don't believe he's gonna hit me with those shots.
You gonna hit him with that
100%, and land that right hand that he says is my only weapon.
If you look at Jake's eyes and face, he's pleading for mercy to AJ as if he's a child. Please don't do this.
Some people get knocked out.
It's actually quite surreal that the moment many of us were concerned what happened to Jake actually happened in real life.
If Jake Paul is left, up against the ropes with Anthony Joshua, unloading on him, could be the end for him, literally. It could be his last day on earth.
Jake Paul was helplessly exhausted, badly beaten, and cornered where AJ could have unloaded a flurry of clean punches on Jake. When he takes that clean right shot from AJ, breaking his jaw in 2 places and then falls to the ground.
And his chin served on a platter, and look at Jake Paul's face. He knew it right away. He said, woo!
Some wondered why Jake had that emotion of excitement. Do you know why? When he was cornered by AJ, Jake's amygdala.
The boxing world reacts fiercely, saying Jake Paul is totally exposed and must retire right now. His fight against Anthony Joshua served as a brutal reality check, proving he is outclassed against elite rivals. Experts and fans alike point out that the knockout and constant beating he took reveal the physical and mental risks of staying. Many insist that quitting now is the smartest move to save his health and future. He cannot survive this.
cooked. He should retire, man. That was a clear
retire?
Check. Hell yeah, that was a clear reality check, bro.
Yeah, but it's a reality check to stay in your own division or, you know, don't jump in class so far up. Not retirement. He ain't get slept. Like, you don't give him no respect for that?
Hell no. Gang.
What?
I'm saying, look at his list. It's all high-level boxer. And you seen what just happened when he stepped up to a legit boxer? He got cooked. He got to retire, man. He either got to retire or start fucking with these misfits boxer dudes. He ain't gonna make it with that kind of skill level, man.
Netflix ain't gonna take a misfits type of fighter, bro.
Facing a bigger, taller giant, Jake Paul constantly took a knee, risking fatal injury. Every fall exposed him to brutal ligament damage similar to what ruined Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. against Sergio Martinez, which forever killed his career. Beyond a broken jaw, Jake's constant collapses under Joshua's 260-pound frame drained massive energy as he struggled to stand up many times. Analysts note he hit the floor at least a dozen times, revealing a trash strategy and weak technique. Talking big about knocking out Joshua only showed the gap between fake hype and cold reality. Fans and experts agree that despite all the noise, Jake's work showed he was outclassed, burnt out, and physically broken, proving that staying at this elite level is crazy and deadly. He must stop before it is too late.
In there with a bigger, taller person, so keep taking the knee. First of all, your knee, you can get ligament damage. Remember when Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. was losing every round to Sergio Martinez, and then Martinez fell to the ground kind of weird? He messed up his knee. He was never the same fighter. So you got a broken jaw, but you could have tore ligaments in your knee by having a 260-pound man, fall on top of you because you keep making it sloppy and falling around and spilling about. And even if you don't like rupture something or tear a ligament or whatever, it's not really much better than someone leaning on you. Do you know how much energy you exert by having to be like 220 pounds or whatever, 216, and keep picking yourself back up? Like I seen a thing, I didn't count myself, but it said there were 12 or 13, maybe 14 times that Jake Paul was on the canvas. Horrible strategy. And Netflix, I don't even see how they would like that. And for me, this generation they're chopped, bro. Jake Paul did all this, and y'all want me to give a bunch of credit. Jake Paul did all this talking about Joshua getting knocked out. You did whatever to sell the fight, but you didn't make good. That doesn't make you look good when you talk crazy and talk spicy, and then you have no intentions of fulfilling that. And then you got the Jake Paul fans and the Andrew Tate fans, because they lost kind of back to back, where they're trying their hardest to turn this into some inspirational story. Like, oh, as long as you try, it doesn't matter. No, Andrew Tate said, what do you call someone?
Joe Rogan claims that Jake Paul has never faced a killer like Anthony Joshua and has never felt this level of force. Now, after fighting Joshua, his frame has survived a power it has never met before. The brutal strike that shattered his jaw in 2 spots likely caused massive internal harm as well, possibly damaging his brain. Rogan stresses that this is not just a body injury, but a scary sign of the perils of getting in the ring against elite beasts. Such trauma can have lasting effects beyond what is clearly seen. This kind of damage could haunt his future and end his career forever.
Sure, he could make 190.
Yeah.
Anthony Joshua's gigantic.
So big.
He's so big. He's so much bigger. So, of course, like his punch that he knocks Tyron Woodley out cold with, Joshua just eats it.
Yeah.
Because he's a giant.
Yeah.
He's a fucking giant man.
So big, dude.
He's so big.
I give Jake so much credit for stepping into that ring.
Bro, he got hit with a bomb, a right-hand bomb.
When he got hit with that too, I don't know if enough has been made of the fact that, I mean, it was absolutely devastating. But the fact that he had awareness immediately to go like he looked at the crowd like, oh shit, like wow.
He goes,
it wasn't like
cracked. I think he went into that fight knowing that was probably going to happen, and ultimately the big win for him would be that he was even willing to do it and that he could do well.
Analysts point out that Jake Paul barely survived his clash against Anthony Joshua, repeatedly hitting his knees and even falling to the floor several times during the match. Despite this, Jake boldly claims that he thrashed Joshua, a statement many experts call insane given the facts. Observers stress that Paul's main goal was purely cash rather than sporting glory, and therefore giving him extra credit for this work is wrong. Unlike some casual stars or YouTube names stepping into the ring for fame, Jake had already fought in 12 pro matches, suffering 2 real losses. These defeats were not against retired or weak boxers, but against genuinely tough rivals, proving that Paul's record has been tested in hard competition. Analysts argue that surviving a round against a world-class giant like Joshua is not the same as winning or dominating, and overhyping Paul's effort hides the reality of the fight. They stress that knowing the truth of his wins and losses is vital, especially when judging his claims about his skills and the fight. The focus must stay on the real risks fighters face.
Who had a 12-1 record, well, he's 12-2 now, lost against the 2 boxers that was young and healthy and who trained boxing and not from a different sport or over the hill or retired, okay? You treat him like a boxer. Stop calling him a YouTuber. Stop calling him, because this is what they're doing now. We saw all the predictions. Y'all didn't see the predictions where everybody was shitting on Anthony Joshua and not putting respect on his name, acting like he's going to get knocked out? Tyson Fury said it. Oscar De La Hoya said it. Drake put $200,000 on Jake Paul. Nate Diaz said Anthony Joshua was going to get knocked out. David Hay picked Jake Paul. Let's not forget, right at the press conference, they went on the whole panel and asked who would win, Anthony Joshua or Jake Paul. And everybody was saying Jake Paul. Ridiculous. We're going to get into the disrespect of Anthony Joshua. So let's treat him like a real fucking boxer. He is. When I said once, this is what I told everybody. Once he actually fought Tommy Fury, who was the first boxer he fought. Once he fought a boxer, win or lose, I said, now I count him as a professional boxer. I'm not counting you as a professional boxer when you're fighting NBA players, other YouTubers, MMA fighters who are even just fucking wrestlers and BJJ practitioners like Ben Askren and AD.
Brendan Shea stresses that the idea of Jake Paul beating Anthony Joshua is totally delusional. He claims there was never any real shot for Paul to win, no matter what fans believe. Many people say everyone has a puncher's chance, but Schaub calls this uneducated talk. In a pro fight, especially against someone at Joshua's elite level, there simply is no puncher's chance. The size, power, and skill gap is massive. Even if Jake hits hard for a 200-pound man, he wouldn't rank among the top pro heavyweights on earth. Schaub explains that if the fight had been sold honestly, it should have focused on whether Jake Paul could simply survive the rounds without getting sparked out, rather than hyping an impossible win. Running and dodging damage was his only real strategy. Any story suggesting Paul could dominate or land big shots was a lie. The breakdown highlights that the hype around a puncher's chance hides the reality of elite boxing and sets fake hopes for viewers. This mismatch was a dangerous game played for pure hype.
The way this should be marketed is not, can Jake Paul beat Anthony Joshua? That's insane. That's not real. That's not real in any facet. There was never a chance. There's never a chance. And the Jake Paul fans, and I was getting this a ton from in DMs and comments going, well, everyone has a puncher's chance. That's an uneducated opinion. A puncher's chance, yes. If they're in a bar and Anthony Joshua's there at the pub and Jake Paul were to sneak up behind him and hit him in the back of the head or, in the side or something, maybe, even then, he's a little light in the ass, but maybe that's a puncher's chance. In a professional bout where a professional fighter at the level of Anthony Joshua is at, and he is going into a ring knowing and expecting to get hit, there is no puncher's chance when there's that much discrepancy in talent level. There's not, especially when the size difference. And some of you will say, Jake Paul hits hard. To you, yes, to you. But also, Jake Paul hits hard for a 200-pound man. He wouldn't even measure in the top 1,000 professional heavyweight boxers in the world as far as the strength knockout meter, if there is such a thing. It's not possible. So a lot of you were tuning in for saying, well, he has a puncher's chance. That's not real. That doesn't exist here. And now they could do this, but I don't think it's going to get the same amount of views, but it would set expectations. If when this fight was announced, Jake Paul's team said, hey, we're fighting Anthony Joshua. Who thinks we can last 8 rounds? Who thinks we can go all 8 rounds? Who thinks Jake Paul can go 8 rounds and
Sugar Sean highlights how Jake Paul bravely hyped and stepped into the ring against an Olympic giant like Anthony Joshua. He explains that fighting someone of Joshua's level requires facing massive fear and battling dark personal demons. Despite the risks, Paul truly believed he could win, convincing himself while still knowing the danger. Sean notes the smart game plan, using a huge 22-foot ring to stay fast, annoy Joshua, and land sharp punches. While Paul landed a few clean shots, Joshua's size and skill meant he could eat them. Sean stresses that surviving this plan required guts and expert planning, not just lucky breaks.
Out in the ring.
Jake was shooting double legs too.
Shooting double legs, nice
duck
ones
unders.
with ankle picks, duck unders. But dude, God, I see so much people talking shit on the fight, which, dude, what the fuck did they expect? Like, Jake was hyping himself up, saying he's gonna win. Dude, that's self-belief. He needed that to go in. He needed that to get himself into the ring. You know what I'm saying? He just needed that.
What do you think about the sticking that tongue out?
Dude, he's a showman. This is a fucking YouTuber that switched to pro boxing.
Yep.
And he's fighting Anthony fucking Joshua. He made $90 million, $7.5 million per minute. Nate Diaz says that boy don't work hard enough. This girl in the UFC said Jake Paul shot more double legs in boxing match than I did in my UFC career. Ryan Garcia said he's a runner, he's a track star. Al Germain said this is a clown show. Josh Hammond said, dude, it's like, what did they expect? They expect him to go in there and look like a clean fucking Floyd versus Manny Pacquiao. Two of the, you know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck?
You see the aftermath, like his jaw and everything. Fuck.
Jake Paul's broken jaw. Jake has to get wired shut for 7 days or something like that.
Yeah, like titanium
Tim had to do
plates.
7 weeks.
Yeah, Tim says that was the worst thing he's ever gone through.
7 weeks. Tim broke his jaw in Montana. Tried to go to the hospital. Hospital said the surgeon's out of town. So now he has to. So he's fucking goes like a week without even getting surgery. At least Jake was able to probably get it like next day, that same day. But it's like all the people hating on Jake. It's crazy. Connor said Jake is stupid and will be altered permanently from this bout. I look at it. It's inspiring seeing what he does because I know how much like he's putting in work. He's doing legitimate fight camps. He's doing sparring. He's doing rounds. He's eating. He's doing everything. And
Sergio Mora reveals deep frustration over what he saw in the Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua fight. He points out that Jake Paul spent most of the match running straight forward and back, rarely moving side to side, making it tough for Joshua to land clean blows. Mora highlights that when Joshua had Paul trapped, he didn't attack the body or fully use his huge size edge. Analysts noted that Paul was often leaning into Joshua during clinches, faking the idea that Joshua was being lazy. Mora stresses that Joshua's work shouldn't be judged poorly. A tiny fighter refusing to fight can make even elite giants look bad. He compares this to Canelo Alvarez versus Williams, proving that running for life against a smaller, weak rival is very different from facing a real boxer. Mora concludes that Paul relied on one overhand right, landing it once, but it did nothing, exposing his lack of skill and reliance on fake hype over true talent.
Like, to your point, Jake Paul wasn't so much moving laterally all the time. He was literally running. Look at some of those rounds. He was running. He was going north to south, not side to side. He was running. Anthony Joshua should have been able to cut the ring off. And the times that AJ had Jake Paul cornered, he couldn't get shots off. He wasn't going to the body. He wasn't using his superior size on Jake. Like, I heard Nikisa Badarian say afterwards that AJ was leaning on Jake. Come on. Like, Jake was leaning into AJ, falling into AJ, and that's why those clinches were taking place. AJ is purportedly one of the best heavyweights in boxing. AJ believes he's on the level that he should challenge Tyson Fury. That wasn't the kind of performance that makes me believe Anthony Joshua is still a high-level heavyweight.
Well, you're wrong again. Anthony Joshua didn't look great because he wasn't allowed to look great. When you're in there with a smaller fighter that refuses to engage, refuses to box, to fight, he's running. Think of Canelo Williams' school. Canelo didn't look good, and he got accused of not being able to.
Okay, can I just 1 second? 1 second. I knew you were going to go there.
Oh,
Williams' school was an undefeated 168-pounder with a deep amateur background. Jake Paul is a guy who lost to Tommy Fury with no amateur background. So don't compare the two. Don't compare Williams' school to Jake Paul. It's not the same thing.
No, but I can compare a man running for his life.
That is all for today. See you soon.